This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sophia Yvette.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a casualty and property insurance company? Well, one may be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Scott Friend with BSBD Group. Scott, how are you today?
I'm good. Trying to stay warm.
Yes, no, completely understandable. Now, we are so excited today to learn all about you and your business. Can you start off by telling our listeners just a little bit about your company and your background?
Yeah. So BSBD Group, that's Boyd, Shackelford, Barnett, and Dixon. We're located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But we not only serve Texas, we serve the entire United States. We've got folks like myself that are property and casualty brokers. We are an independent brokerage. We've got about 40 different carriers that we work with. We also do bonds. We have folks that focus on employee benefits as well. But we're a small company. We've got about 75, 76 employees right now. I focus mainly on construction because that's what my background is. I did about 14 years in construction after getting out of the military. So a majority of my clients are contractors.
Wow. Now, what made you want to get involved in this industry in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question. Man, that's a tough question to answer. I would say construction is extremely demanding schedule wise. So I would say a little bit was the flexibility in the schedule. I feel like sometimes I'm working harder now, as weird as that sounds, but I'm setting my own schedule. So that was kind of the big kicker for me. I've got 3 little girls and my wife. I wanted to be able to kind of work around my own schedule. But what's been fun is that I'm still attached to the construction industry, serving people that some of them I've worked with for years. Some of them were trades of mine. So, I'm a middle-aged guy and I was looking for something different in my life. And this just kind of fell in my lap through some good friends of mine. And I'm stoked to be here. I love it.
Now, Scott, would you say you enjoy this industry enough to pass it on to future generations?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've gotten to meet some salt of the earth type people within the construction industry. And like I said, now I'm still hanging around with those same people through events and maybe lunches and coffees and things like that, and really getting to learn them more as an individual and what's important to them and their business and help to protect that.
Now, zooming in more to your business, what is that most common myth or misconception you come across on the day-to-day?
That's a good one. Why do we need insurance anyway? I hear that a lot, and I don't think a lot of people are really financially prepared for a catastrophic event. Case in point, you and I are both in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we had this Dalaska, they're calling it, that came in, and we've gotten temperatures down to 12, maybe less, and we're not really prepared for that in Texas. And so if you have a leak or your facility, God forbid, falls down or something crazy because of the weather, not a lot of people are financially prepared to rebuild that. Same thing with their vehicles. I can't really speak to the health insurance, things like that, but if their vehicle runs off the road, it's the same thing as your personal insurance. Are you really prepared to replace that entire vehicle? And so we provide a way to do that. Yes, you put in a little bit each month, sometimes a lot each month, depending on the business, but I'd like to be able to make sure that those people are prepared really for anything.
Switching gears for a second, Scott, we know marketing is the heart of every business. So who are your target customers or audience? And in terms of your online footprint, how do you stay relevant to them?
Yeah, so target audience, I would say, is contractors mainly, not just trade contractors, but general contractors as well. And the term middle market means a lot to different people, whether you're a banker, in insurance and finance in some way. So I would say, ideally, someone that's doing at least 25 million in revenue up a year. That's really the target market I like to serve. However, I do have some friends that have businesses that don't do nearly that much, and I'm not going to turn them away by any means. So, but I would say those are the people that I pursue mainly. And as far as staying relevant online, those who know me, I'm a big LinkedIn guy. Some of it's funny stuff. Some of it's educational. I just put out why are insurance rates so astronomically high? So I wanted to educate people on that because I think it's important for people to know, it's not that underwriter, it's not that broker or agent that's causing that rate to be so crazy high. It's a lot of external influences. And so I try to do my own research. Thankfully, our company provides a lot of that training. And so I can use that and really put it out to the public to say, hey, look, here's the situation. This is why it is. So people don't just kind of grumble and say, it must be the broker. It must be the agent. They want a bunch of money.
So, speaking of educating your audience, have you ever thought of having your own podcast for the business?
Not for the business necessarily, but I do have my own podcast actually. I started it about close to 3 years ago or so. And it's called the Construction Veteran Podcast. And that was when I was still in the construction industry. And I saw a lot of people very frustrated with the lack of labor, the labor force, the labor pool. They were going, we can't find good people. And it kind of frustrated me going, man, you've got 200,000 people that get out of the military every year. A majority of those are people that have served, one contract. So they might be 22 years old, 26 years old. So these are folks in their 20s that are able-bodied, that have a lot of the soft skills that people look for. And so I kind of served it up on a platter to say, hey, I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about what you did, what you do in construction now. But the flip side of that too was I know how it feels to get out of the military, and it's uncomfortable, the transition. And so I wanted people that were getting out to realize, hey, the construction industry is actually a really good way for you to kind of stay in that team environment. It's kind of dangerous still. It's exciting. There's something new every single day. And it just kind of took off. And so a lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area know that. We've got listeners, Ireland and like random countries around the world, people that'll pop in. But yeah, it's been really good. And I did talk about my career transition in that a little bit. And so I try to stay relevant within the construction industry with it as well.
Wow, Scott. Now you sound very mission driven. So what is the mission statement of your business?
Okay. So the mission statement for BSBD, I mean, really, if you meet any of our brokers, a lot of us are, middle-aged parents, most of us, and a lot of us just really want to do right by the people that we serve, whether that's, there's me and another guy that served in the construction industry for about the same amount of time. And these are people that we love and we know, and we want to make sure that that business that they started, maybe when we worked with them, they decided to branch off on their own. We want to make sure that that's protected. So I think that's the biggest thing is that, hey, I'm somebody local. I'm not a 1-800 number. I'm somebody that you can call. My account manager is here local as well. You can call he or she, and that's somebody that's not overseas somewhere. That's somebody that knows you and knows this environment. So that's really important to us.
And what final words of wisdom do you have for our listeners today on casualty and property insurance brokers?
Check your coverage. That's the biggest thing I would say is check your coverage. It's very important. I'm happy to give a second set of eyes. Obviously, I'm willing to help. And that doesn't necessarily mean you need to go with me. That's kind of a risk that we take. But I would say there's a lot of people that aim for, oh, I just want something cheap. Well, I can guarantee you the cheapest is not always the best. I have been able to save some of my clients some money, but sometimes the cheapest thing isn't always the best. You might not be prepared for what might come, whether that's your house or your property that serves your business, or your fleet vehicles, things like that. So they go, wow, I'm getting this awesome deal and I'm not paying nearly as much as I thought. Yeah, well, you might not be covered as much. So it's just worth checking on your coverage.
Right. So what you're saying is that quality is more worth it than quantity in the long run.
Yeah, I would say it's a value-driven business. And we'll tell people, maybe if you're looking for the cheapest folks out there, it might not be the best relationship. But like I said, fortunately, I have been able to save some of my clients money, but I want them to know that up front. Hey, if you're looking for the cheap guy, you can go online and get that. If you're looking for the bare minimum, I'm going to find you the best thing though. And we can play with those numbers. We can increase or decrease your deductible. We can get it to where you want it to be, but we want to make sure that you're safe and covered and you can sleep well at night.
And where does your heart for giving quality service come from for you?
I would say, my service background, probably more than anything. And that's sort of bred into you. it's others before self. So sometimes that gets me into trouble, but sometimes it makes me a better dad and husband though, is I try to put those people before myself, within reason though. But I want to make sure I set up boundaries and make sure that we have a healthy family life as well. Um, Emergencies do happen outside of the family, and sometimes I might have to take a call every now and again. But I would say just that my faith is another big part of that as well. I am a Christian man, and I want to make sure that I treat others the way that they should be treated, and really respect them as an individual. That's very important to me.
Amen. Now, final question for you. Where can our listeners go to learn more about BSBD Group?
So you can go onto our website, which is bsbdgroup.com. So bsbdgroup.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. Just look up Scott Friend. You'll see my ugly mug. My title there says Construction Insurance Advisor. And really, I mean, we're all over the place. So we've got, I want to say, 22 brokers now, maybe 23. And we're kind of spread throughout the Metroplex. So we try to get involved in different organizations that we serve. So you might run into me at a Texo event, which a lot of people in the construction industry know that, or I'm involved in what was called NAMC, NAMAC. It was National Association of Minority Contractors. We're now called the DFW Contractors Growth Alliance. I'm involved in a lot of veterans organizations. So really, I mean, I like to say it's kind of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You're going to find somebody and run into somebody that kind of knows us somehow when you're looking for insurance.
Well, Scott, we are just about out of time today, but I really appreciate you being on the show, and we wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfrisco.com. That's gnpfrisco.com. Or call 469-221-9345.